Good afternoon. Please join me in welcoming the Supervisor of the Town of New Scotland, Doug LaGrange, Supervisor of the Town of Bethlehem, David Van Leuven, County Executive, Dan McCoy, the CEO of Plug Power, Andy Marsh, and please welcome the 57th Governor of the great state of New York, Kathy Hochul.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming. I have about a 90-minute speech prepared since it's such a beautiful day. But hey, look, first I kind of like to start out by saying I am wearing a yellow and blue tie. And I think it says a lot about why we need alternative energy. Because without it, we're going to be dependent upon the Russian gas station forever. And when you look at what we're doing here in New York, and New York is Plug's home, we can help solve that problem. And here at this facility, ultimately will be 300,000 square feet. Manufacturing, up and running in August 1 of this year, will employ 1,600 people. And this is just the start. And if you look at the work, and by the way, I love the fact the work's going on in the background because they told us they couldn't stop the day. They had to get it done on time. But if you look at the work we're doing, we're trying to help, and the governor's been great at this. The governor has what we believe the most aggressive plans across this country, and we think in the world, to make New York the center of hydrogen. At the moment, companies like Plug, under the governor's direction, is directing NYSERDA to help New York become one of the hubs of hydrogen, which is part of the infrastructure bill, which our great Senator Schumer got passed to the Senate. And this hub, it is one of the reasons we're here. This facility, 300,000 square feet, we're still going to be in Latham, and that's going just to become pure engineering. If we go a little west of here out to Rochester, you'll see our 150,000 square foot MEA manufacturing facility. And then just a little further west, you'll see our facility in Albany, New York, where we're building the largest liquid hydrogen plant in the world, which will come online by the end of the year. It's because of the leadership of the governor, it's because of the help from the state that we would not be here. Before I thank a number of other folks, I also have to thank Senator Schumer. The senator has been with us for our 25-year journey, and it has not been a linear journey. But the infrastructure bill, other bills going on in Congress today that the senator is driving, is just great for this industry, great for New York, great for Plug Power. So I do want to thank all the local officials here in ESD, for example, for helping to make sure we get the assistance from the government and funding on this program. I'd like to thank the local government officials who how to figure out, it's a typical Plug experiment. We have to be in 2 cities. So I appreciate the fact that the support, we really do deeply appreciate it. I am really lucky today that I get to introduce the governor. I also get to introduce International Women's Day today. And on that day, I get to introduce the first woman governor of New York to this beautiful facility we're building. So Governor, let me hand it off to you. I really appreciate everything you're doing for New York, everything that you're doing for the renewable energy industry, and us and the hydrogen industry. So thank you, Governor, for everything you're doing for us.
Thank you, Andy. And yeah, real women like to hang around construction vehicles. I love this stuff. I really do. I played a lot of Legos. I didn't play with too many dolls. I was mostly a Legos kind of kid. So I love to build. And so we'll get to Andy and what I believe about this business and how it has really defined our energy future. So to everyone at Plug Power, we welcome you. But I do want to recognize a few individuals here, starting with our county executive, Dan McCoy. He'll be hearing from in a couple of minutes. He's the kind of person when you're dealing on the front lines of a war with a pandemic against COVID. You were in the trenches with us. We went to countless sites, thanked the healthcare workers. We went to the mall to set up testing sites, vaccination sites. So Dan McCoy, hope you get a little break now. We're getting a little bit of a break from COVID, but thank you for your incredible leadership. Also leadership in our Senate, Senator Neil Breslin, who has been such a tireless leader, a fighter for this area, and a great friend of mine as well. So Senator Breslin, thank you. And I come out of local government, 14 years on a town board, so you got to give a lot of love to your local officials. So Supervisor at Town of Bethlehem, David Van Leven, and also Doug LaGrange, Supervisor at New Scotland. So let's give them a round of applause as well. And the woman who makes it all happen at ESD, Hope Knight, a rock star. We were happy to recruit her to our administration. I said, I'm in search of the best and the brightest. You're looking at someone who's very talented. You're going to see her at many more of these occasions as the years unfold. And a lot of this is funded and supported by NYPA. And I want to thank Justin Driscoll for his leadership at this time of transition and for all he has done to just put a spotlight on how incredibly fortunate we are to have the resources of the New York Power Authority able to fund projects like these, as well as there we go. Want to thank and George is here, chairman of the board. Where's George? George, chairman of the board here. Thank you for being here. Also, anybody from labor in the house, men and women of labor, thank you. You're the ones that are going to do the building. Unbelievable. Thank you so much. You know, and I thought it was really significant that Andy had the foresight to talk about our energy independence, or lack thereof, let me say. This comes from someone who got her driver's license when we had the OPEC oil embargo, and you could only get gasoline on alternating days of the week based on what your license. Anybody old enough to remember that? No, most of you not. Okay, there's a few. There's a few. Maybe you heard it from your grandparents, the good old days. I don't know. But it had a profound impact on me as a teenager growing up at a time when we really did feel that we were captive to foreign energy sources. And we were literally brought to our knees. You could not buy gasoline when you wanted to at the pump, and the prices were going through the roof, although in perspective, it was a bargain compared to where we are today. But we are always at the whim of geopolitical circumstances, as we're experiencing right now with the unlawful invasion of another country by Russia and Putin going into a place, and our prayers are with the individuals in that country who are literally fighting for their survival as we speak. And no one could have foreseen this a couple months ago. I mean, there was talk, but you never really thought it would happen. My friends, it happened. And all of us have to stand together against that aggression, but also to do what we can, our part, to make sure that Russia understands there's consequences to what they did. And we don't want to have Russian oil in this country when they continue that path of aggressive behavior toward their neighbors. So we have to send a message, just like we did in New York a couple weeks ago when I said, no more investments, we're divesting, no more business with any companies from Russia. It all shuts down right now, as well as being so willing to open up our hearts and our homes and our communities to the refugees, and literally upwards of millions now are having to flee that situation. So it all comes down to how we can isolate Russia, and weaning ourselves from their oil is an important part of that. So companies like Plug Power, you couldn't have thought of this 25 years ago when you started thinking how we can innovate new technologies to bring clean energy sources to our construction vehicles and forklifts and all the other ways that you've been so brilliant. But now you're realizing it does have a profound effect. It allows us in the state of New York to meet our very ambitious climate goals, which are nation leading. I'm proud of that. We're ambitious, but we will meet our objectives because, in my opinion, we have no choice. This is not about what we're doing here on this rather chilly day. It's what's going to happen to our children and our children's children going forward. That's the responsibility that's on our shoulders to make sure that we are stewards of the future, and part of that has to come into exploring and innovating and financially supporting alternative forms of energy. So that's why when I said we're going to become a global leader, I meant it. I was thinking of places, companies like this, the expansion that we're seeing here today, as I saw in Monroe County, as I saw on a much warmer day at the stamp plant in Genesee County just a few months ago. And I will be here in August when you get this done. So keep working, everybody. I'm coming back here in August. I'm not coming back in the cold anymore, but let's gather on a nice warm day and celebrate what you've accomplished here, because it's about investments, it's about the clean energy future, but I also love the fact that it's about jobs. Anytime we can create new jobs, and these are good paying jobs, manufacturing. I love manufacturing. I've probably walked more manufacturing floors and factory floors than anybody in the history of the state, because I love doing that. I love talking to the foremen and the workers, say, what kind of skills do you need to work here? Can you train someone from high school? Do they need a certificate from a community college? What do you need? And we'll get that for you, because you cannot be successful if you don't have the workforce ready to walk in your door every day and do the building with their hands that's necessary. So this is going to create over 1,633 jobs over 5 years. That's music to my ears. I love this. But it's all going to be about green hydrogen. And I mentioned this when we talked at the stamp plant a few months ago. I don't know if you all understand what this is all about. I mean, this technology is brilliant. That facility is being powered by hydroelectric power. Think about that, clean energy. And what we're doing is creating hydrogen cells that can be used in construction vehicles. They're literally powering the forklifts that are in all of our fulfillment centers, Amazon fulfillment centers, right? I didn't make that up, right? I remember that. I'm kind of, do I remember that from October? Hope I'm right. But I remember saying, who thought about Amazon fulfillment centers until there was a pandemic and you were waiting for that delivery to come to your door, so you had toilet paper and paper towels, right? I mean, remember those days? It wasn't that long ago. But you are part of the innovation behind that to make sure those services that directly affect us as people are still there, but in a way that uses the clean energy of the future. That's the difference, and that's what you've done here today. So I'm so proud that we're going to have a 350,000 square foot expansion right here at your Vista Technology Campus. It is $55 million, and we've committed $45 million in Excelsior tax credits. Again, those are based on the jobs you create. So you got to create the jobs, Andy. Okay, got to create the jobs. I'm going to ask you in a couple of years. We got to make sure. All right. Hope we might need a little more. Okay. But what you've done has just made us so proud. Proud to have the fact that you were born in our state, that you've expanded in our state, and I know you have other opportunities, and those other states are always coming after companies like yours, but they got to get through me first, because you're a New York company, okay? So let's always make sure that you're part of our future. And I want to thank everybody who's part of this. This is one of the best parts of my job. I love coming out here. I love seeing what really smart, dedicated, innovative people have accomplished, and how what you're doing here, creating jobs and opportunities, also leads to a much brighter, greener future. So thank you. Thank you very much. And with that, I'm going to bring up our great county executive, Dan McCoy.
How do I follow that? But I do want to say, Governor, you literally hit the ground running as our 57th governor, first female governor. But most importantly, I don't think anyone realizes how much you have to know. You got a $260 billion budget. You have multiple agencies. She had to learn so much in 7 months, but continue to do extraordinary things like plug power. Not just here in Albany County. I wish she did more in Albany County. I'm not going to lie. I don't care about Mark pulling carts out in Erie. But the extraordinary things this governor has done in a short 7 months is unbelievable, and will continue to do. And it's been impressive. And, one of the things, I hate to say this publicly and have it taped. When I was president of NISAC and as president of County Executives of America, we joke, because we always say, that governor never understands us. Government doesn't know us. Well, unfortunately, we have a governor that has gone through every level, understands us, so no longer can we argue, you don't get our point of view. You don't understand what we have to do. We lost that argument, but it's good to have a partner like Governor Hochul, so thank you. And we wouldn't be having this ribbon cutting on this chilly day without the governor, because you made it possible. Quickly getting money out there for not just economic development, but for green projects. And I want to thank everyone involved. And I'd have to thank Albany County Advance Alliance, to Luke, to Kevin, to everyone involved. Thank you so much. To Dan Lynch, my deputy, who really, we were dug in with Plug, making sure this happened. But also to BBL and Columbia Development. Columbia Development, thank you so much. I wish Joe was here, but I heard he's sunning himself in Florida. But the reality is all this happened because everyone made it happen quickly. But to our supervisor, David Van Leuven, thank you, because we were putting it all together, and if you didn't get through in the partnership with your town and everyone else, it wouldn't have happened. And to our county legislators that are here, to Chairman Joyce and to, I believe, Dennis Feeney, our majority leaders here, and Paul Bertolf, thank you so much, because the partnership in the Albany County Ledge to make this happen, we wouldn't be standing here. To Andy, for your belief in Albany County and keeping it here and expanding here and creating 1,600 more jobs, but green jobs. I was always boasting, I want to be the greenest county. We're going to be the greenest county in the nation. Forget the rest of the state. Thank you for that. Thank you for the partnership. And the only thing I really have to say is to the two of you, thank you so much. But one went to Syracuse, one went to Temple. Right, we'll have that argument off key, but she has you by Catholic University. That's what I'm going to say. I'll pull it on there. But to Sue Rizzo, thank you, Sue, for being here. To everyone involved, to labor. Without labor, this nation's not built. I always say it's great to be an artist and to go down to the museum and see all these great art pieces and paintings. But when you're in the trades, and the governor said it so elegantly, that when you see a road being built, just to take your kids or take the pride of knowing that building was built because of you, that roadway was put in because of you, them jobs were created because of you. So thank you, labor, and to Senator Schumer for being our majority leader, because he has made a lot of things happen. He's going to make things continue to happen, and for being our majority leader, but also being the first Jewish leader in the Senate and in Congress. So Senator Schumer's always hitting the ground running. Senator Breslin, I can't thank you enough. I can't believe you're not freezing without a jacket on. I'm freezing looking at you, but you've always been an inspiration and always there for us. And Assemblywoman Pat Fahey, who I know can't be here, who tragically lost her son and is in Chicago. Without Pat, too, and Congressman Tonko. To everyone involved, and if I forgot everyone, I am sorry, but I do want to say to our real leader, the governor, I got to be nice on this one, Andy. Our governor, thank you for your leadership and your inspiration, and thank you for your leadership at Plug Power since '08, because it can't happen without you. But I do have the pleasure of bringing up our supervisor, David Van Leuven, who's done a great job in the town of Bethlehem. Just not here, David. Down at the port, I was going to say Albany. Port of Bethlehem, and everything else you've been doing around the town. On top of things, it's been nice working with you in a partnership. Our supervisor, David Van Leuven.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm David Van Leuven. I'm the Bethlehem Town Supervisor, and my background is in ecology, and so my background is in green spaces. So it's a bit of an odd feeling to stand in sand with a bulldozer behind me and recognize that this is key to protecting our green environment, to protecting our public health and safety, and protecting the well-being of our economy and our communities in the face of climate change. And we're able to do this because we have Governor Hochul, who recognizes the reality of climate change and recognizes that we need to take real actions in order to address those challenges and to protect our economy and to protect our families and our communities and to protect our environment. Now, the role of government is getting things done, and this is a project that is happening because of the deep commitment of our local government, our county government, and our state government working with the federal government to get things done. This is a project that went from concept to concrete in 5 months. That is an astonishingly fast process. And we had that process because the town of Bethlehem worked in very close concert with Albany County and the town of New Scotland to move through all of the processes to get things done. And we were able to do that because Plug Power as a business took this process seriously and took the steps. So I'd like to take a moment, if I could the members of the Bethlehem staff who worked so hard on this project, please stand up. And also the New Scotland staff, stand up for a moment of recognition. I get to stand up here and talk, but they're the ones who worked so hard to actually make this happen, which is usually the way it is. I also want to thank town board members Maureen Cunningham and David DeCancio and our highway superintendent Mark Dorsey for joining us today. They have had a strong commitment throughout this process to making things happen. Now, the future is green, and the green energy future is right here in the town of Bethlehem. Between the Plug Power project here and the offshore wind tower construction facility in the Bethlehem portion of the Port of Albany, we are going to see more than 2,000 high-paying green energy jobs right here in Bethlehem. That means that Bethlehem is going to become one of the green energy hubs for the entire state of New York, and I am so proud of that. So, Governor Hochul, thank you so much for your support. Andy, thank you for coming to Bethlehem. I'm so pleased to welcome you here. County Executive, thank you for your support. And I now introduce my colleague from across the town line, Doug LaGrange, the New Scotland Town Supervisor. Thank you.
Well, there's nothing left to say. I think everybody's covered everything, including acknowledging my staff in town for the help they did. So thank you all very much. Good afternoon, and thank you, Governor Hochul, for the invitation today, for setting this up here in the town of Bethlehem. I will say the town of New Scotland today is sunnier, it's a gentle breeze, and it's about 75 degrees. So it was a bit of a mistake on your part, but otherwise it's nice to be here. So continuing as, I guess, the official representative of the town of New Scotland, and promoter too, I guess, I sincerely want to publicly convey how excited and proud we are in the town of Bethlehem to help facilitate this incredible project by Plug Power. It's been a busy 5 months for sure, but it's been exciting and our pleasure to be a part of it. We've worked hard and fast over the last few months to make this happen, and I would like to take just a moment to thank those who gave of their time and expertise to get this done from our town's perspective. Some are in attendance today. We have town board members, Adam Greenberg, who's also my deputy supervisor. We have Bill Hennessy, Bridget Burke, and Dan Lining here. Thank you, folks. From our planning board and representing our planning board, Jeff Baker. Jeff, where are you? Thank you, Jeff. Please convey my thanks and appreciation to your board. We really appreciate the extra meetings and the extra effort that went into it. Our building department is represented here today by Jeremy Kramer. Jeremy's been, I don't know if he's really been coming to this site every day like he tells me at lunchtime, but he's gone for like 4 hours, and I heard there's something in the trailer. I don't know. I haven't got the whole story there, but Jeremy's been putting in a lot of work for our little sliver of this start of this project. Finally, I'd like to recognize our planning and zoning attorney and our town board attorney, Crystal Peck and Michael Naughton, respectively. Crystal, I believe, is here. Crystal, thank you. So these are the people that have really done the work over the past 5 months and compressed in the last 90 days. Much time, much hard work, and I want to be the first to thank them. I, of course, want to thank the governor for having this, and the announcement today is so important to the whole project. We really appreciate that, and again, I thank you for inviting me. Further thanks go to Albany County County Executive Dan McCoy. Danny, I guess I'll stop. I won't say anything further. Yeah. And of course, Plug Power, Mr. Marsh. We haven't met yet, but I'm sure we'll speak after this. And the Columbia Group, but especially David Van Leuven, the supervisor before me here that spoke in the town of Bethlehem. It's been an incredible couple of months working with them. The effort's been incredible, and our partnership, especially between the two towns, has shown how multi-levels of government working side by side with the private sector can do what's necessary to bring jobs, bring new revenue, and more importantly, a clean environment for the present, for the tomorrow, and for future generations. And that's the big part here. So together, we still have some more to do. We've got some other plans coming, and hopefully they'll come to fruition soon. But I personally am humbled to be a part of this amazing collaboration, and I thank you all.
And now it's time to break some ground. For those of us here in attendance, please remain seated during the groundbreaking photo. Thank you. Thank you for attending our event today. Have a great afternoon.